You know what? I'm going to do something different this hour. Are you guys ready for this? Okay, normally I just sit here in the interview area, brought to you by Castle Realty, but I'm going to do something just a little different. We're going to start things out a little different because over on the phone bank, welcome IC Systems. Hello. So, we have a couple of, let's see, family members. And Mitch Maxey, your brother, and Kimberly, are you on the phone? I'm going to talk to you anyway. That's fine. Put them on hold. Okay, so tell us a little bit about your involvement this year.
Well, this is actually the first thing that we've done this year. We used to do the Mitch Maxey Golf Tournament, where we donated half the proceeds to the Children's Miracle Network and then half to a local child. So,
Thank you. Thank you for being. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to put these girls and everybody to work because this is a triple power hour thanks to Weezers. Hello, girls. It is. It's huge. 784-KIDS, 784-5437. But we'll get back to you girls in a minute, okay? We'll get back to you girls. So now we're going to go back over to the interview area, over to the Plowman family. Thanks, you guys, for waiting for me. I just wanted to do that. So a triple match power hour. And Robin, you wanted to make sure that we got that point across because let's talk right into our mic because you've got some friends and family and they're listening.
Yes, they are.
And are you thinking that a triple power hour that is sponsored by Weezer Brothers would trigger them to pick up the phone and call?
I sure hope so.
Okay. Well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to just keep track of that.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to keep track of that. Welcome, Paul. Good to see you, Dad.
Hi, how is everybody?
We're good. Jesse. Hi, buddy.
Hi.
Jesse. Well, he will as time goes on. Hey, Jesse. Look what I happen to bring with me. I think I may have a favorite book of yours. What is that? Pete the Cat. Can I tell you a funny story? Jesse, I'm going to tell you a funny story about Pete the Cat. See, my son and daughter-in-law, they have a black kitty. And it had a different name at one point. Then all of a sudden, the book Pete the Cat came out. Now they call it Pete all the time. Isn't that funny?
Pete the Cat.
All right.
Yes.
You guys, thanks for making the trip from Toma.
Yes.
You're
Glad
not
to.
new to the Children's Miracle Network family,
No,
but you're big supporters of Children's Network hospitals.
absolutely.
And we thank you for making the trip. I have not seen you guys since Emerald Ball, which puts us back maybe in March.
Yes.
When you came in to the lobby today at Gunderson Health System, I took one look at Jesse and I thought, something wonderful is going on.
Yes.
Tell us what's happening in his life and your life.
Well, we give God all the glory. We always have. It's a miracle that this little boy is alive to begin with. And he has fought many battles with his health over the years. And God has brought him not only through those, but he was this active almost at the age of 5 when a serious illness hit him. He was on life support for 12 days. And when he came off, a newborn infant had more strength than he did. And they basically told us we were starting from day one without much hope as that as well. They just didn't know what he would be able to do again. And as you can see, God has brought him back 100-fold. And he continues. We continue to see healings. Last week, he said 2 brand new words. And this is huge because a year ago when we were here, I shared that he had just said the word hi and hey. And he has added a handful of words to that, but his newest that he has said perfectly is home and hungry. Oh. And as you can see, he's not in his chair.
He is not in his chair. And that is the first thing. I was standing next to John Stevenson when you guys came in, and I said, look at that. Jesse is not in his chair today.
Yes. This has just been very recent, too, in the last month or so that we've been able to take him out places. And he will sit next to us just wonderfully. We can go to a restaurant without his chair, and he sits in the booth. We can ask him things, and the clarity, he will respond immediately. as an example, his iPad battery died just as he was handing it to me. And I said, go give it to Daddy to plug in. He took it from me, walked across the room, and gave it to Paul. Not a second thought, anything. I mean, the clarity and just we just know that God has got great plans for this little guy. And I got to say that Children's Miracle Network has been a huge part of that. You came into our life when he was just about 3 months old.
Robin, can you talk about that? I know it's painful.
I will.
Can you, if you can,
Cry.
If you can.
Jesse was born perfectly healthy, a beautiful baby boy. In fact, 13 years ago yesterday, he's a birthday boy. And at 3.5 months of age, he was violently shaken by his biological father. And that caused global brain damage, front, back, both sides, the top. This, if you are familiar with how the brain works, every area of the brain dictates your speech, your vision, your hearing, your body functions, whatever. Jesse's legally blind from that. He has no depth or peripheral vision, although it's hard to notice that if you're watching him because he's pretty adaptive. His speech, like I said, we just started getting words a year ago, a couple of words, and that is growing.
That's
a good the
sound.
Phone ringings. Thank you for
sound.
calling in. His immune system is off. He could not roll over like a normal child. It was major developmental delays. So he couldn't sit up. It took months before he could finally sit up. And when he sat up, he didn't have safety measures. So he might get himself in this position, but he'd fall right over because he didn't know how to balance or keep things. So he had to be taught that. You couldn't touch his skin because he'd pull away. He had sensory issues. If you wanted to touch his hand, he would pull away. And I got to tell you, this little guy is the biggest lover out there. He gives hugs all the time. He loves to be snuggled. And there was a hi. Can you say hi? Say hi. Say hi to everybody out there.
There's a microphone in your face. You're not going to do it.
Maybe you heard him. But one of the bigger problems also at the age of 6 months old, he started having seizures. And he would have clusters of seizures where he would seize 50 times in a row, if not more. And he would do this multiple times a day. So it wasn't just you got over, one set of these during the day. It just repeated itself throughout the day. And all you could do at that point, he was on medication, but he's 6 months old, so they can only give him a small dose of medication. He was on several medications, and they didn't stop the seizures. And we would hold him and cry because it's very hard to see anybody seize, but you see a little baby going into multiple seizures like that. And I believe he had over 7 different types of seizures as well. As he got older, he actually had to wear a helmet that had a full face guard because the one type of seizure, the drop seizures, he would literally, that's why they call it that, just collapse, just drop to the floor. And he had to protect his face because he could hit this table. When he hit the floor, sometimes it was so hard, the helmet actually split wide open. Over 16 different heavy medications. We kept trying to find something that would help him. And
well, you'll do whatever you can do.
We would do
whatever you can imagine.
And we watched a movie, First Do No Harm, and it's about a little boy, true story, that had seizures. And the medications were ones we were on, and we were seeing what the side effects did to a healthy child, because we couldn't tell, is this a side effect from the medication or is this Jesse's injury? But in that movie, it came about the ketogenic diet and how that can help seizures. Thank you. And I asked our doctor about that for Jesse. He had a status seizure, meaning that it did not stop, and it could have been life-threatening. And when we got down here to Gunderson, we asked his neurologist, what about the ketogenic diet? And he said they no longer did it here, so he hadn't introduced it to us. And I said I would go around the world for this boy.
Yes.
And they had it down in Milwaukee, and so we connected with Children's down there and got him on the ketogenic diet, which has hugely stopped the seizures. It used to be when he was connected to an EEG, if you had a handful of pens and scribbled on paper, that's what his EEG looked like. There weren't, small spikes. It was just a mess. And they told us that he was having a seizure every second that we weren't seeing on top of the ones that broke through. And I'm happy to say that the brain is calm, and we maybe see 1 or 2 seizures every few months. But other than that, he is pretty much seizure-free now.
You used a word that is hard for me to imagine. Calm. Is your house calm? Do you sleep at night?
We do. We do now more. When Jesse was an infant, it was difficult. And in 2010, when he came home from being on life support and from a 3-month hospital stay, the poor baby was hooked up to IVs at home, 24/7 feeding tube, oxygen, just a couple more machines on top of that, and somebody needed to be near him at all times. And when I got home, Paul pretty much took over that. I was so burnt out, and ever since, one of us has pretty much slept in the same room with him. And yes, Paul takes most of that duty now. But
you guys probably have no way of knowing this, but they just held up a racy board. We're already 20 calls.
Praise God.
Since you guys have sat on this couch today. And Weezer Brothers, we love them like family. This is a triple power hour.
Praise God. This is awesome.
So,
make
awesome
those phones
is
ring.
not the word. You're making miracles happen when people are picking up the phone at 784-KIDS or 608-784-5437. So I'm absorbing your story. I feel like you've transported me under the roof, and then we're hearing positive things happening with Jesse, and then John is holding up a sign saying we're 20 calls into it.
That's
so
awesome.
Talk about riding that emotional roller coaster. This is truly.
Say hi.
Oh, I'm going to start crying. I don't know if I can say this.
Oh, wow. And they support Jesse every month.
Deegan Berglund just made a $3,000 gift.
Praise God. Thank you, Deegan Berglund. Yep, that's his main medical supplier, too.
That's the main medical supplier for Jesse?
For his formula. And his
well, way to go,
bags.
Deegan Berglund. We're all in tears over here. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
That's tears of joy.
Yes.
That's tears of joy. 784-KIDS. 784-5437. I got to regroup. That was such a wonderful one. It just hit me.
Yes.
Can you share just a teeny tiny, now I know this is brand new and you guys are just taking us out for a spin. You've come across some new therapy as far as nutritional therapy for Jesse?
We are. We just started in on Juice Plus, which is whole food nutrition. And I became a rep to get that in the house for us. But in just 2 weeks' time, the difference in Jesse has been phenomenal, and we're thanking God again for that because it's his nutrition. And we just put it with his, it comes in capsules or chewies, and we just open the capsules in his medicine every day. And he's just getting fruits and vegetables added to this diet because a ketogenic diet, it's all formula. I can't remember. He was probably an infant the last time he had fruits and vegetables. And
now I know there's one food group that he enjoys. It's not necessarily.
Not a
well,
fruit
I
or
guess you could
vegetable.
call it a vegetable. But what is his favorite?
Lay's potato chips.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that is a potato. I guess
It
you
is
could
a
you could
potato,
call that a
yes.
vegetable of some.
It is,
So
yes.
does he ask for the treat? How do you know when it's time for a treat?
Well, we can offer that treat 24/7,
I
and
see.
it's time for a treat.
Okay.
So he hears a bag rattle, and he knows it's
knows.
coming.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
he could see the bag, and he will go after it. And so that's exciting. And he actually, in his changes, has now tried Fritos and Tostitos, which, again, if you understand Jesse and his texture issues,
Yes.
he's actually picked them up and tried them. And that's all new for him. And now he is very interested in our food,
Oh.
which is huge. He will get his face right down to our bowl or plate of food. And he actually licked a tomato from my salad 2 days ago. But he gets so interested, and then he starts licking his lips. And so we've talked with his dietitian, and we're going to start introducing foods back into his diet as well. But just 2 weeks on the nutrition, and our daughter was like, what is different with him? There's a clarity here, And so I thank God that he brought that into our life, and that's huge for this guy.
Who else is home with you guys?
Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
So he's in school today.
And how old is Thomas?
Tommy will be 12 soon.
Okay. So you guys, you have one busy household.
Yes. We
Yeah,
have
yeah.
8 children total,
8 total.
and just the 2 young ones at home now. So
You're listening to the Children's Miracle Network Radiothon at 784-KIDS and 784-5437. A huge donation from Deegan Berglund. I can talk about it now, but when I saw that
is
the
awesome.
the generosity, $3,000, and this is a triple power hour sponsored by Weezer Brothers. And we have 2 of them over there. Andrea's over there and Kathy's over there. And they're answering the phones, and the Blood Center of Wisconsin Phone Bank, Castle Realty Family Interview Area. And I don't know if you've heard about the 180 Club member. It's $15 a month. We have a new sponsor this year, Luke's Auto Repair. You'll find them on Mason Street off Highway 35. We do that all the time, and we're so happy to have them on board. So we thank them so much because they listen all the time too.
That's
and
great.
Kids are like their priority as they
Yes.
are with all of us.
I think what has struck me, well, first of all, the generosity of CMN. When Jesse was just a few months old, we were first introduced to them, and they purchased for us a jungle gym that was made out of mat materials. So it wasn't the hard plastic, but it could be indoor, outdoor. And he needed help learning to climb and learning to balance and slide and all those things. And that was purchased for us, for him. And that was one of the, it's been huge. We still use parts of it today. And later on, we asked for an iPad, and that has been a huge success in his growth.
Let's just throw this out here. What are you going to do when Jesse figures out your password and gets into it all by himself? It looks
It's
to
not
me
gonna
like
be
that is
long.
not that far away.
He knows how to get to that page for sure.
I can see that. I can see, and he has his favorites there too.
He does have his favorites.
It's amazing when you have conversation with what and how they know to help you. The staff at the Children's Miracle Network Health Organization here, and helping the kids locally. How can they figure out ways to help you? It just blows me away.
I've never seen an organization like them. And to be honest, my donations come to CMN. And I want to tell the listeners, if they didn't already know this, every single penny that you give to Children's Miracle Network is used for children like Jesse or any other child out there, their family. Every single penny is given to them. And I have to say that is huge, especially with a special needs child. His car seat you purchased for us. Now, the first ones we were able to get at a local store, but as he grew and we needed
sure.
the same type with a 5-point harness, the special car seat, products for disabilities are outrageous. And that car seat was $2,000, and we didn't have it. And we asked once, and Children's Miracle Network didn't bat an eye. I mean, that chair was there for us, and he can grow with it. It's huge, but it's a lifesaver. And that wouldn't have been possible if everybody out there wasn't giving. And they also purchased for him a tricycle. And he had one at school, and we wanted one at home so he could be outside more and exercising. And he has that tricycle and loves it. And I just want to say thank you again, because Children's Miracle Network has been there. And when I was in the hospital for 3 months with him, try and eat for 3 months in a hospital.
I can't imagine.
And they provided food vouchers for us. I tell everybody, if you're going to give to somebody, give to CMN, because you're changing lives. And like I said, this little guy was born perfect, and he shouldn't have had to suffer everything that he has suffered. But I'm thankful that there's a community out there to help us help him. And I just want to thank everybody out there. Your giving is giving to change lives.
Every time you hear a phone ring, that is the community.
And that is
calling
awesome.
in. And we
Thank
have
you.
a big, generous community. And Weezer Brothers, thank you. This is a triple match power hour. So you give us a call at 784-KIDS. It triples. And we just have maybe 16 minutes left for that,
Okay.
for the triple power hour. So now is the time.
Now's the time.
Now is the time. It's 784-5437, because your donation will go a long way in helping miracles happen.
long
What's
way.
next? What do you see happening?
Well, I'm hoping someday to be rid of his chair for good, and that his vocabulary becomes complete. Jesse's an intelligent little boy, and by God's grace, he is alive today.
He's very handsome, too.
He is.
He's a very handsome guy.
He is. When I never realized on life support that you could stop breathing. I always, my understanding was, if you're on life support, you're on life support till someone, declares not, and they pull the plug. This little guy had to be resuscitated on life support when we were in children's. I lost track of how many times I saw him pass away in front of me.
No mother ever.
Seeing it once is hard enough.
Ever.
But it was, I could say 30, and it's not enough times that I saw that happen. And look at him today. I mean, like I said, God has plans. This little boy has touched more lives in his lifetime than most people ever will. And we are privileged to be the chosen ones to love him and have him in our life.
Every interview we've done today, I've asked the question, if somebody was trying to consider calling and giving. You've answered that question 150 times in the times we've talked today. So I'm not going to answer that or even ask that question, because you know why it's important to call. Yes. And it's because you guys, Robin and Paul, thank you for coming in and sharing these stories. And I know it hurts. Yeah. A lot of your story hurts. Yeah. And there's no reason for it. But you come every year because what you're doing is you're giving back by sharing your story.
And we can't give enough, really. And again, I will just say again, if you're on the fence, jump over that fence and make a call today and give, because if you can't see us, I hope you can hear it. But the lives that are changed and that need the things that they get. These aren't frivolous things. These are life-changing help that these families get. It's life-changing for a mom to be able to have gas money to get to the hospital, or a dad too. It's life-changing that they can stay with their child and you provide a meal for them.
I know that our listeners are hanging on and they want to know where we're at with the numbers of calls. Okay. So I'm going to see, John, can you get us a total over there where we've been? Because I have been hearing a lot of action. Paul, you've got something to add to? I've been hearing the phones ring. I've been hearing cowbells. Where do you think we're at?
That's awesome. Children's Miracle Network is the bridge for so many families that otherwise would have to go without, or be so strained financially or material issues that they need for their special children. And Children's Miracle Network bridges those gaps. So all I'm going to say is here, be the bridge. Be the bridge with them today and help. And make that call. And you can bless children like Jesse and so many others and these wonderful kids that they have this year.
Your journey and the story that you've told us today has already generated 32 calls. I don't know if there's a record, but we're getting close to one. We're going to call that Jesse's record is what we're going to do. We're going to call that Jesse's record. 32 calls we've had at 784-KIDS, 784-5437. You're listening to the Children's Miracle Network Radiothon. We're here with the Plowman family, Robin, Paul, and Jesse. And Robin and Paul have been pouring their hearts out to us today in a very genuine and honest way, and letting us know what has happened with you, letting us know the exciting things that are happening with you. And sometimes when it's your own son, you don't see the changes every day because you're with him every day.
Yes.
But when you walked in here today, we sure could see it.
That's awesome.
That's exciting.
That's
that
very
is so
exciting.
And
Very
there's
exciting.
more calls coming in, but I think what we're going to do, it looks like Jesse's just about had it. I think he either needs a
wants some chips?
potato chip or something, and I think maybe you should go take care of that with him.
Well,
we love
once
you
again,
guys.
we want to thank everybody out there for giving, and it'll come back to you. It'll come back in a blessing, definitely.
We're leaving it at that. You're listening to the Children's Miracle Network Radiothon, a service of the La Crosse Media Group.